Morning.
I don't got 20 bows.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Hope everybody had an awesome Labor Day weekend. Long weekends are always so much nicer, but of course they go by just as fast as regular 2-day weekends. I'd love to hear what you guys did on your Labor Day weekend. If you did anything interesting or have a funny story, post it in the comments below, and I'll feature it in a future episode. It was a pretty busy weekend for me. Started off on Friday night with our fantasy football live draft. That was a lot of fun. So if you're in a fantasy league and you do your draft online now, I highly recommend having everybody get together and do a draft live in person. It's a little bit harder. Definitely got to do your research on the players, but it's a lot of fun. I also had family come up from out of state, so I hung out with them on the weekend. There was also my cousin's wedding on Sunday, and that's the 4th wedding out of 6 total weddings that we were invited to this year. And finally, if you saw any local news this weekend, you know there was something going on around Connecticut and specifically the Hartford area. Last Tuesday, August 26th, a Twitter account named @DrCashCT started tweeting that he was going to be giving away money in the Hartford area during the Labor Day weekend. Well, sure enough, as soon as Friday came around, he started tweeting out clues to where he was going to be hiding cash. Of course, the clues weren't very hard, like this one where he said he was going to be in a park with a lot of bushes, which is Bushnell Park, obviously. But it definitely created a stir online, and at the height of it all, he had about 2,150 followers. When this first came out on Friday, I started following him because naturally I was interested and I work in the Hartford area, so I decided to keep tabs on the whole event. Well, sure enough, Sunday morning I was traveling through the Hartford area when one of his clues came through that he was in West Hartford. He made the clue out that he was at the Noah Webster house. I happened to be on the highway at the time heading towards West Hartford, punched it into my GPS, and it said I was 7 minutes away. Now, the way his money drops had been going, people had been finding him within a minute or two of the clue being released online. So I figured there was no way I was going to get there. But sure enough, I got to the exit, made all the lights, and I was the first one in the parking lot. I won $50 and it was a pretty cool experience. I talked with the doctor for a little bit and actually asked him for a phone interview for a commute with Ben. Well, little did I know he wasn't acting on his own, and he was definitely looking for more publicity than I could give him. He later reached out to local news and radio stations, and even a national radio station. And finally yesterday, he revealed who he was. It wasn't Dr. Cash himself who was important, it was who he was representing. He was representing the Chaz and AJ Show. It's a morning radio show here in Connecticut that's broadcast on 99.1 WPLR, 95.9 WFOX, and now most recently on 102.9 WDRC. Now, WDRC just recently picked them up, and Dr. Cash was basically their way of promoting that they're on the new station. Even the letters in Dr. Cash's name spells out DRC. Dr. Cash. Get it? At first I was a little disappointed that there wasn't something bigger behind the whole thing, but really, I mean, what was I expecting? In the end, I thought it was a pretty cool thing that they did. It was a lot different than any other promotion that radio stations do. And hey, I won, so why am I complaining? So if you followed Dr. Cash around this past weekend, or maybe you tried to make a couple trips to where he was dropping the money, let me know in the comments. I want to hear your story. Finally, I was asked about my chariot that takes me to and from work. It is correct that I do not have 24s.
I don't got 20 bows.
As the opening sequence to Commute with Ben states. Now, I was skeptical about showing my car online. Due to security reasons and my popularity, I didn't want to be tracked down by the masses and the paparazzi. But I figure my car is pretty inconspicuous, doesn't really stand out, kind of blends in with the crowd, so I figured what the heck. So here is my whip, my ride, my hoopty. This is the Commute with Ben vehicle.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and
Totes my goats.
It'll probably be tough to pick out on the highway, like I said, because it blends in so much. But if you do happen to spot me on the highway, give a honk and a little wave. As always, I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy day and giving me a few minutes of it. I always love to hear from you guys. So please leave a comment, a suggestion, things you'd like to see in an episode, things you don't want to see in the episode. And sorry, seeing less of me is not an option. If you've got any loose change lying around, expired coupons, definitely don't be shy. Leave a comment below. And if you feel so inclined to, share this video, like it, and as always, don't forget to subscribe on the links below. Well, we're at the gate, and that means my commute is over.
Now it's time for so long. we'll sing just one more song. Thanks for doing your part. You sure are smart. You know, with me and you and my dog Blue, we can do anything that we wanna do. Hey, bye. See you later.